Orinda City Councilman Steve Glazer has announced a petition plan calling for a ban that would prohibit public transit workers from striking. This would avert any future BART strikes. And Steve Glazer is joining us now to talk about his petition. You've been out collecting signatures over the past few days at East Bay stations. How's that going?
Well, the response has been really good. I mean, people that use BART every day, there's about 375,000 BART riders every day. When that thing is shut down, their livelihood is shut down. They can't get to their jobs, they can't get to schools, to their doctor's appointments. So there is a pent-up anger and frustration that all this is going on, that we're facing another strike, and that what can we do about it as riders, as taxpayers, as citizens. So the response has been really good.
Let's talk for a second about the precedent that has been set in other municipalities, even here in San Francisco.
Right. People feel like if you take away the right to strike, you're putting a dagger in the heart of the workers at BART. But there are bans on transit strikes all around the country, in Chicago, New York, Massachusetts, Washington, D.C., and even, as you mentioned, in San Francisco. And there are workforces in our economy right now that cannot strike. Police cannot strike. Fire personnel cannot strike. They have some of the most lucrative salary and benefit packages of any public employee in California, yet they don't have strike as an alternative in those negotiations.
You've worked closely with Governor Brown in the past as a consultant. Have you reached out to the governor or any other state leaders to maybe carry the ball further on this idea?
The governor is certainly very concerned. He authorized a fact-finding process in the summer. He has called for a 60-day cooling-off period that has prevented the strike from happening now, which expires on October 10th. So I think he has great concern about what is happening here with the strike that we had in the summer and the potential strike that we have coming up. But there are limits to what any individual lawmaker can do, any individual governor can do now, unless we get a ban on public transit strikes in California. So we need our political leadership to step up at all levels, and that's only going to happen if the riders, the taxpayers say, this is too much. The consequence of a strike on our economy, on our workforce is too great. It cannot happen. We should create a state law that prevents that.
You are a Democrat. You're running for Assembly next year. Democrats usually support labor. You've obviously given some thought as to how this could impact your future career and also just what it might say in terms of your relationship with labor as you move down the line.
Well, it has been difficult to make this decision about what I think is right, and certainly the consequences are maybe substantial. I've been bullied, I've been threatened. 4 hours after I did my petition announcement in Orinda, I was accosted at a restaurant by a BART employee saying this was the end of my political career. So there are some consequences in making these choices, but and I think that's probably why I'm a little bit alone so far in this, but that's why we need the viewers and the people that use and use BART and recognize how important it is to step up. I have a website where people can join my effort. It's a petition link, banbartstrikes.com, where you can go and sign your name, and you don't have to give up much information except who you are. And we're trying to create a force of the population that says this is too much, so we can share that with legislative leaders. So if people agree with me, they should go to banbartstrikes.com and join in this effort. It just started on Thursday. We're facing a strike within days, so we need to organize quickly, and that's what I'm trying to do.
Really, we're about 12 days or so out from a strike. Do you plan to collect signatures past that date or up through that date? What are you looking at in terms of a deadline?
The consequence of a BART strike is meaningful right now, but in 3 years from now, it'll be the same issue. So I hope to carry this forward beyond the resolution of whether the workers and the management can settle in the next few days. So I have a long-term vision for what's necessary, what's good for the economy, but certainly we want to stop this BART strike from happening at all. And I think that means we need to step up and get our voices heard, because unfortunately we're not in those back rooms during that bargaining. The riders aren't, the taxpayers aren't, and for whatever reason they're not able to solve this problem. And so our careers, our livelihoods should not be in jeopardy when management and labor can't work it out. So we need to have a voice, and this is the way to have a voice.
Well, we'll find out how many people agree with you when they sign or choose not to sign the petition. Steve Glazer from Orinda, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
The website again is banbartstrikes.com. We'll be right back.